Okay, so the first thing we need to do in the bookshop is to come over here and pick up some Shakespeare anthologies. Wonderful. Next, we come over here, snag some bullets. Every book reader needs bullets. They make spectacular um, bookmarks, I find. Oh, it's locked. I sure hope this is going to be easy to work out. Where's that note? Let me read that note. Okay. In here is a tragedy. Art thou player or audience? Be as it may, the end doth remain. All go on only towards death. The first words at thy left hand, a false lunacy, a madly dancing man, hearing unhearable words, drawn to a beloved's grave, and there, mayhap, true madness at last. As did this one, playing at death, find true death at the last. Killing a nameless lover, she pierced a heart rent by sorrow. Doth lie invite truth? Doth verity but wear the mask of falsehood? Ah, thou pitiful, those miserable ones! Still amidst lies, though the end cometh not, wherefore yearn for death? Wilt thou attend to thy beloved? Truth and lies, life and death, a game of turning white to black, and black to white. Is not a silence brimming with love more precious than flattery? A peaceful slumber preferred to a throne besmirched with blood. One vengeful man spilled blood for two. Two youths shed tears for three. Three witches disappeared thusly, and only the 4 keys remain. Ah, but verily, in here is a tragedy. Art thou player or audience? There is nothing which cannot become a puppet of fate, or an onlooker peering into the cage. What the hell was that? Well, I'll tell you. That was actually an answer key to this puzzle. And I mentioned the bird puzzle in Silent Hill 1 having a bad reputation. This is the hardest puzzle in the Silent Hill franchise. So, the first thing we need to do is open up our inventory over here and find where we have put the books. Just scroll through my wardrobe, don't mind me. So the first thing we need to do is examine the books. So Shakespeare Anthology 1, Anthology 1 is Romeo and Juliet. Exciting note-taking action! 2 is King Lear. 3 is a play associated with Scotland. 4 is Hamlet. And 5 is Othello. Fun fact, examine is only ever required for this puzzle on this difficulty. You don't need it aside from that. Right, let's see if I can read that poem again, and let's go from the top and explain what it's talking about. In here is a tragedy. That refers to the books that we've just picked up. Each one has a Shakespeare play, each play is a tragedy, so in each of those is a tragedy. Art thou player or audience is from the play As You Like It, which has the line, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. And this tells us that we need to look at the specific content of the plays in the books that we have. In this one, it talks about the first words at thy left hand, so we're going from left to right, not right to left, like a Japanese player might expect. So, a false lunacy, a madly dancing man, hearing unhearable words drawn to a beloved's grave, and there, mayhap, true madness at last. That is a rough overview of a portion of the play Hamlet. Prince Hamlet faked being mad before being tormented by the ghost of his father. Ultimately, his lover Ophelia is driven mad and dies. So, the first entry in this code, from the left, is Hamlet, which is book number 4. There we go. The second stanza is Romeo and Juliet. This one playing a death is Juliet, faking her death by taking the sleeping potion. And the nameless lover is Romeo. That's from the Rose by Any Other Name bit. So the second one is Romeo and Juliet, which is 1. This one, the third one, is a little bit tricky because it talks about the nature of truth and lies, which are themes that you find in Macbeth and Othello. So we need to read on, and that will help us to solve a bit more of this puzzle. Specifically, the last line of the 4th stanza, a game of turning white to black and black to white, which is how you play the board game Othello. So the third number is Macbeth, which is number 3, and then the 4th number is Othello, which is number 5. Now this one, the last stanza, is about King Lear. Not just because it's the only book that's left, but because it talks about silence and flattery. And that's essentially the story of King Lear. Cordelia loves her father very much, but never says so. Her sisters flatter King Lear with the intent of stealing his throne. So the last number is King Lear, which is book number 2. There we go. So our code is 41352. But the poem keeps going. One vengeful man spilled blood for 2. The vengeful man is Hamlet, avenging the death of his father. That's the plot of the play. Hamlet is anthology 4. Spilled blood for 2 means that we multiply that book by 2. So 4 becomes 8. So it's 81352. 2 youths shed tears for 3. That's Romeo and Juliet, which is book 1. Shed tears for 3 means we multiply that by 3. 83352. 3 witches disappeared thusly. 3 witches, they are characters in Macbeth, which is anthology 3. So book 3 gets removed. And thus the 4 keys remain. 8352. Dear God, I hope I have done my working out correctly. Am I... Okay. Amazing.